This is the next day. I figured out Angelina Ballerina gave me a yeast infection. And one of my followers seems to have hit the nail on the head. He says this is a genetically engineered yeast spore. And I think he's right. Well, I've had experience with yeast. As you can see, my eye looks a little better than yesterday. A little better. But it's both eyes are itchy. You can't really see it. I still have a lot of post-nasal drip. This yeast went systemic within 24 hours. I was cured of my yeast infection because I was on Seroquel, and I'm still on Seroquel. In fact, I increased my dosage from 200 to 300 milligrams just to deal with this infection. Because Seroquel is the best medicine to take for yeast. Brent Spiner, who's a physician, told me that it is effective against all different kinds of yeast. And so I'm on the best medicine. But when I went to bed last night, I took my Seroquel earlier than usual, but I couldn't sleep. The germ is attacking my nervous system, maybe my brain. Right now, the infection entered my body through my eyes and my nose. I inhaled it. Okay, and I had tons of postnasal drip, and I can feel that the infection is now spread to my intestines. So I've got it down there. My eyes are in the conjunctiva is all infected. I've got conjunctivitis, yeast conjunctivitis. I've got sinusitis, yeast sinus infection. I do not have a fever. In fact, it's just the opposite. My body temperature is going down. This yeast is wreaking havoc with my nervous system. Last night, I was so hot that here I am in Florida. I normally sleep with the temperature like 79 or 80, but I was so hot that I had to we're in winter right now, and I turned on the air conditioning and put it on 75 because I was so hot. I couldn't sleep. I was so hot. That's what this yeast is doing to me. I took my oral temperature, and my temperature was like 78.6 or something like that. So I definitely don't have a fever. That pretty much rules out your typical bacterial infection, or I don't see how I could have caught this as a bacterial infection. I haven't really been anywhere, and I usually don't catch anything. But she definitely put something in my air. Not last night, but the night before last night. And it was so bad. It felt like a concrete block here. So right now, my strategy is to drink a lot of liquids, give my body the water it needs to flush the germ out of my system, increase my Seroquel for maybe 2 to 4 days from 200 to 300 milligrams. That seems to be working. I couldn't sleep last night until I increased my Seroquel. So I increased it from 200 to 300 because Seroquel, even though it's not advertised as a yeast-killing medication, it is the best yeast management medication in the world. Jesus Christ created it just for me. So I increased my Seroquel. Another thing that I've been doing is chopping up garlic and swallowing it raw, mincing it and swallowing it raw. That seems to help. I don't know. Well, the garlic is a yeast killer, so I don't know. Maybe that's not a good idea, but it seems like it's helping me. And I'm not going to. Another thing, I have a little bit of symptoms right now. Very itchy eyes. Still have inflammation around the conjunctiva, both eyes. The right eye is slightly worse, but both eyes are itching. Nose inflamed, itchy, post-nasal drip, though better than yesterday, I think. Insomnia induced by the germ. It's affecting my nervous system. So I had to, when I increased my Seroquel, then I was finally able to sleep. I also drank some chamomile tea. It's very important with this. I've got like itchy skin in spots. It's like it's like the germ is migrating to, or the toxins are migrating to my skin, so my skin kind of itches all over my whole body. A little bit of, I'm feeling like my intestines are slightly on fire, so the germ has apparently infected my intestines. So I've got symptoms in my eyes, my nose, my throat's a little bit sore, a slight cough, post-nasal, lots of post-nasal drip, intestinal infection, intestines feel a little burny, and she gave this to me through an inhalant. I don't know if she hired somebody to go out there or she and throw sackfuls of yeast spores. This is yeast. I figured it out. Yeast spores into the air, or if she used a bomb that dropped yeast spores. But this is Angelina Ballerina's doing. Oh, itching. I try not to think about how I'm itching. Another thing, my goal today is to drink lots of water. I'm going to go for my walk very soon. Make sure I obey all the Gail commandments. And I actually made love to Zach Knight brain to brain because he has semen, which is like an antibiotic. And maybe that helped me sleep, but it didn't completely work. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like Angelina's come up with a pretty, she's genetically engineered this germ just for me. She knows the options I have to deal with it, and she's tried to create a germ that will not work. You know, that will, for my treatment options will not work. So I tried making love to Zach Knight. I have this bottle that I let Rule 13 use, and if I suck on it, then I can have like kind of like oral sex with him. It seemed like it worked right after I took it. Maybe I need to do it again. This might be such a strong germ. I might need to. Zach is kind of sex deprived right now anyways, because he misses Rule 13. Oh, but I like to make love to my men because not only does it help me, but it helps them too. We heal each other. Jesus made it that if I have brain to brain loving with the men on my marriage list, we heal each other. So, oh God, whatever this is, it's a real. What I think is happening is the Seroquel that I took is chasing the germ out of the other parts of my body where it went. And so the germ is fleeing to the safest parts of my body, and it's going to the eyes and the nose. And that's because Seroquel does that. When I take the Seroquel, I've noticed in the past, sometimes I'll get like a swollen tooth, swollen gum tissue, and that's because the germ is running away from the Seroquel and going to the parts of my body where Seroquel doesn't reach it as well. And so actually by taking Seroquel, it might make my eyes itch more and my nose to have more post-nasal drip. But that doesn't mean it's not working. It means it is working. I just need to keep taking the Seroquel, and eventually the Seroquel is going to just lick it all over my body. But the germ is an intelligent germ. It runs away from the Seroquel and tries to go to the parts of my body where the Seroquel is not. That's why I need to do my walks. I get the blood moving, and that helps the Seroquel to go to all parts of my body, including my eye, the parts where the Seroquel, if I don't do my walk or I don't exercise, then I don't get my blood moving, and then the Seroquel doesn't hit every part of my body. And then the parts it doesn't hit, that's where the germ escapes to. So that's why I'm going to be going for my walk very shortly. I think that's one of the, you can see how red it is here. The germ right now is escaping to my eyes and my sinuses to try to get away from the Seroquel, which is flushing, trying to flush it out. And so I have to drink a lot of water and do some form of aerobic exercise. Jesus says he's putting medicine in the air. So that's my current strategy. You say, why don't you go to a doctor? Do you think a doctor's going to know how to deal with this germ? This is a genetically engineered super germ. It's not even in the medical textbooks. In fact, I think she just recently created it just for me. It's a yeast. I mean, I've got these horrible symptoms and I don't have a fever, so it's got to be a yeast because you don't get fever with yeast. So it's a yeast, a super yeast, and I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to make me some rice and meatloaf when I get back. Try to get to bed early and hope that I sleep. I was like up all night last night. I couldn't fall asleep till like 10 in the morning. I was taking chamomile tea, trying to eat seaweed so I get my magnesium. And I'm just thinking, goodness, Lord, it's a germ. So I said, well, let's try increasing my Seroquel. So that seems to have been a good idea. So I'm only going to do this for like 2 to 4 days. I think after that I get back down to my maintenance dose, which is 200 milligrams. So, this germ, this Angelina really needs to go. As you can see, my eye does look better. I'm not sure if it feels better, but it does look better. So I guess whatever I'm doing must be working. It's really itchy. Both sides, both sides. You can see I still have this congestion. She really gave me a doozy of a germ. She is one evil woman, man. We really need to take her down. So if anybody else has got this germ, you need to get on Seroquel. And you might need to increase your dose if you're already on it. Drink a lot of water. Make sure you continue your exercises so the Seroquel so you get your blood moving and the Seroquel can hit all parts of your body. And still try to eat balanced diet and all that sort of stuff, but do the Gail commandments. That's the best thing to do, the Gail commandments. And the only thing that I would add that's not in the Gail commandments is drink a lot of water. Your body needs water to flush out the toxins and the germ. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, my prescription allergy eye drops are sorted. I think they're making it bearable for me. They're not going to cure anything because the irritation is mainly caused by the infection. But because I'm allergic to yeast toxin, they help me deal better with the symptoms. So that's what I'm doing. Believe me, I'm kind of miserable. I mean, physically, but I wanted to share what I'm doing to help people who might have caught, maybe, who knows, maybe I'm not the only one in this town who is dealing with this. I think she dropped a bomb over all of Central Florida.